TFLW is on. You have found the place where we talk about all things NASCAR. My name is Kerry Murphy. I'm a longtime NASCAR media member and syndicated radio host of all things The Final Lap. Our co-host for the show, Toby Christie, founder and editor-in-chief over there at tobychristie.com. And we are going to go ahead and do YouTube for this particular segment as well. YouTube.com/The Final Lap. And like we said at the top of the show, if we're not careful, we might turn this into a success because all of a sudden the numbers are rising.
We find ways to not succeed at things, but I think we might have a winner here.
Yeah. So thank you for everyone who has subscribed and watched our videos. And there's hundreds now watching our videos. Yeah. And we truly appreciate that. We just kind of launched this to see how it would do. We figured, well, we'll take one segment out of the show and make video out of it. At the very least, it'll be kind of fun to do. So
yeah. It's been cool. And you've gotten to kind of test out some new tricks from your son that he's been showing you. So that's pretty cool.
Well, yeah, he's a YouTube ace, and he's got the iMovie down and how to edit, and I'm constantly running to him with my laptop. How do you do this? How do you do that? So probably makes him feel
the
good.
Tables have turned.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I think it's cool. It's cool. It's a bonding experience for sure.
That's awesome.
We got anything unusual going on this weekend?
Nope, certainly nothing unusual at all.
How about the 37th running of the NASCAR Cup Series All Star race? Unusual thing number one, it's not at Charlotte. Well, last year's wasn't either, but this one's in Texas now.
Yeah. And as you can imagine, they put that Texas flair onto things.
Right, flair. That's a good word for it, I think.
Yeah. Let's give it that.
We've got lots to talk about, but the first thing I want to get to, and this is the most important thing heading into this weekend, you've got to take this with you because it is just really, really important, at least to me. Jimmie Johnson, 7-time champion. He's on top of the all-time wins list for All-Stars with 4 All-Star victories.
Yeah, I mean, the most anybody could have coming out of this weekend would be 3 if Kevin Harvick were to win it, or if Mark Martin came out of retirement and won it somehow. Right.
So his record's safe is what you're saying.
His record looks to be safe, at least for this week, yes.
All right. In case you didn't know, but Chase Elliott won this thing last year. That was at Bristol Motor Speedway, which was also crazy.
Yeah. I mean, the race itself wasn't that crazy.
No.
It was kind of a letdown. It was kind of weird.
Yeah, so hopefully, this one won't be. But, okay, here we go. I mean, how do we unpack what this is going to be?
Okay, so when this format was announced, I seriously thought it was a joke.
Right.
I had to double-check it, and I had to wait for a few minutes to see if there was an amendment saying, just kidding. Eddie Gossage was just playing around with you guys.
Right.
No, this is the format. This is his swan song. He's going out on this. Eddie Gossage is retiring after, 25 seasons at Texas Motor Speedway.
Right.
And his swan song is this format, this most convoluted thing I've ever seen. I don't think I've seen anything stupider than this.
We're going to run down the bullet points as we know them. And, I mean, if you could follow along, great. But I think all of us, even the drivers, are going to be like, I have no idea what that was or what we do.
Get your pad and paper, everything, get it all ready. I mean, you're going to need it all.
You imagine being a crew chief for this?
I don't want to. I think the crew chiefs are not even going to care. They're just going to whatever.
Whatever happens. All right, so the race is going to feature... The race is going to feature 6 rounds of 100 laps.
Notice we don't call it stages.
No, it's rounds. Yes. Like a fight.
And
ding,
so
ding.
It's a total of, and by the way, it's a total of 100 laps, not 100 laps each round.
No, I know. That's nuts.
Yeah.
So, every few laps they're stopping.
Yeah. If you have a short attention span, this is going to be the race for you. So starting lineup for the race will be determined by a random draw, which we have seen. Kyle Larson will be the pole sitter.
Of course. So this race is over.
Surprise. I mean, it would be. But we do have 6 free racks, so who knows?
Oh, my.
So All right, are you ready for the breakdown before we just obliterate this thing?
Yeah, let's just do it, because I mean let's do it like a Band-Aid, ripping it off, you know?
Yeah. So rounds 1 through 4 will be 15 laps each. Round 5 will be 30 laps, and the final round will feature a 10-lap shootout. Sounds great. You're like, okay,
Yeah.
that makes sense. I got it. That's cool.
Right.
Here's where things get Texas-fied.
Texas-fied?
I mean, it's at the beginning of round 2. The field will be inverted via a random draw with a minimum of 8 cars to a maximum of 12 cars, and that will be determined live on FS1.
So the drivers like Kyle Larson's going to slow down?
To at least 8th place.
Right.
If he goes to 12th, he might not get first in the next one. Round 2, random draw, will also be seen by fans live attending the race on Big Hoss TV, because we had to know that. That's a crucial piece of the puzzle here.
Lots of random draws, by the way.
Yeah. Before the start of round 3, Kerry, are you ready for this? So we've gotten through round 2.
No.
We had our draw of 8 to 12.
No.
Before the start of round 3, the entire field will be inverted.
Again? Oh, no, that's partial. The whole thing.
The whole thing. If you're first, you're now last. If you're last, you're now first.
So there's going to be a lot of racing backwards.
Yeah.
Slowing down.
Are gonna be like, yeah, I'm just going to go to the back.
Man, I don't know. My car's not handling well or something.
Man, all of a sudden, I'm just terrible. This thing's junk.
It's like they reduced the horsepower or something.
So now, at the beginning of round 4, are you ready for this?
There's more?
Oh, there's more, baby. Get ready for this. The field will be inverted via random draw. Have we heard this before?
Yeah.
Between a minimum of 8 cars and a maximum of 12.
And who decides that?
It doesn't say. Just a random draw. So
okay. Is it going to be?
Here we go.
Is it going to be ping pong balls?
I don't know. So at the beginning of round 4, we do that. Now, starting positions for round 5, Kerry. This is where things get really intriguing.
Great.
They will consist of the cumulative finish from rounds 1 through 4. So get your calculators out. The lowest cumulative finisher starts on the pole. Second lowest starts second, and so forth, so on in perpetuity. All cars must enter pit road for a mandatory 4-tire pit stop, because that makes sense in a 15-lap round. And then starting positions in the final round, Kerry. Are you ready for this?
No.
It's just the finishing positions for round 5. So after all this craziness, you got your 10-lap shootout, and you don't do anything crazy before that. Just however you finish in round 5, go out there. It's fine.
Wow. So crew chiefs really are having nightmares this week.
I think crew chiefs are wondering why we haven't tested Eddie Gossage. Why can't the random test be him this week?
Yes.
So yeah, that's interesting. Only green flag laps will count in this race, by the way. So no caution laps at all.
Okay.
The
first thing that made sense.
The fastest team on pit road during the mandatory pit stop will earn a cool $100,000.
The pit crew members?
Yeah, so the fastest pit team, pit crew, will get $100,000.
Split amongst themselves.
Winner, I would imagine so. Or the team owner will probably take it.
$4.95 at the end of the day, then.
Right, it's like the win Clint's money thing.
Right.
70,000 people have won 25 cents.
Exactly.
The race winner will be awarded $1 million, which has been kind of the thing for years.
Yeah.
So
they need to up that.
Nothing really intriguing here. There's a lot of stupidity. And then at the end of the day, the prize is the same. Nothing's really different. And the track is not conducive to a very good show. So I'm not very excited about this.
Well, and Ryan Newman just said we might see racing like restrictor plate style on this track.
Well, yeah, because now that's the other thing. So we've already had the lower horsepower package at 550 horsepower at these tracks.
Yeah.
NASCAR's taking it a step further in this race. We're going down to 510 horsepower, which means they really aren't going to have to let off the gas at all during this thing. And I just don't see this being very good. I don't like it. I'm not very happy.
That is crazy. That is absolutely... I don't know what to say.
Yeah. So obviously there's a chance I'm totally wrong and this is going to be the coolest thing we've ever seen. But chances are I'll probably be right.
it lends itself to be interesting, but at the same time, it's so complicated. How are people going to follow along at home?
That's the thing. You're not going to be able to keep up with this, and I have no confidence in the broadcast team of explaining this as we go. I'm being honest.
Well, the media, when they were talking to Ryan Newman this week, and Ryan Newman couldn't even describe or say what was going to happen or how. I mean,
no. And I will give you this. The quote in this thing from Eddie Gossage is 100% spot on. He said, quote, "I call this NASCAR All Star Race Texas Edition." End quote. You're correct, Eddie Gossage. You're correct.
Yeah, right. People don't like baseball because it's too complicated.
Yeah, and that's just guys swinging at balls, and it's pretty obvious what's happening, but that's complicated. This is complicated.
When I turn on the TV to watch NASCAR, all I want to see are cars going left and an occasional race going right. But I don't want too much thinking.
When you have to have a 3-page memorandum for whatever the rules are for your race, you've done it wrong. Like, I shouldn't have to print this out, save it, and be like, okay, let me plot my rule sheet so I can make sure I know how this race works. Yeah. This is stupid.
You know who loves this? You know who loves this, right?
Who?
Bob Pockris.
This is Bob's time to shine.
Every
week is his time to shine, but this is definitely... He'll have so many... And I bet you he actually hates it. Because he will have so many people asking him on Twitter how this thing works, whether the track has lights, all sorts of crap. Poor Bob. Poor Bob. This has created so much more of a headache for Bob than anything we've seen in the last 10 years. And I think that was Eddie Gossage's plan.
People don't know that it has lights?
There are people that ask him if every track has lights. It's a thing. It's been going for over 10 years now on Twitter. I think Gluck found it. It was 10 years ago this past week that the first person had asked him on Twitter if a track had lights, and it's just grown.
That is hysterical.
Because every time we have a rain delay, people are like, well, are there lights at this track? Lights at this track?
At this point, it's like, what, Talladega? And, I mean, even Martinsville has lights now.
Yeah, so it's pretty comical. But, yeah, this is a piece of work. This whole thing, whoever came up with this, and if it was Eddie Gossage, whoever came up with this, whoever is actually responsible for this, if it is Eddie Gossage or whoever it is, deserves to be taken out in the back. And something bad needs to happen to them.
Wow. Oh, my gosh.
This is awful. What the hell is this? We just spent... How long do we have to spend talking about how this race works?
Well, we've allocated this entire third segment for just explaining the race.
Yeah. Not even like who we think might win it. So that's the thing. This is so convoluted that we have to dedicate an entire segment of our show just to explain to our listeners how this race might work. Even though we don't... It wouldn't even surprise me. We get halfway through this and they see it's not working. Nah, we'll do something else. We're going to do this.
Uh-huh.
It would not surprise me. But this is just ridiculous. So many inverts, so many math equations. Why do we have math equations?
Why and why do we have so much, ping pong balls floating in the air?
Well, and if you're going to do that, do it right before the final round. So it's for the money, and people are like, oh, crap, I got to, boot somebody out of the way to get back up there. Now, you've done all this, and then your final round's going to be the finishing order from round 5. So
is there a fan vote again? Yes, there is. There is.
Did we say fan vote?
It says here fans may vote for their favorite driver visiting NASCAR.com for details.
Is that for the
That's for the
that's from the open race, right?
Right, I know, but there's still that element. Oh, we didn't even talk about those.
Yeah, we haven't even gotten there. So for the NASCAR Open, of course, as has been the case every year, it's broken down into 3 stages. Segments, they're calling it.
Right.
20 laps, 20 laps, 10 laps. The winner of each of those 3 will get into the All-Star race. And then, of course, the fan vote.
Okay.
Which you can vote at NASCAR.com, by the way.
So maybe I'll just watch that part, because at least that's normal. And I'll just
seems it's a lot less complicated if you want to do that.
Right. That's the safe bet for your viewing pleasure this weekend.
So for those who are wondering who is eligible for this race, I guess we can go through the whole starting lineup. Let me go and pull that up real quick.
Sure. The ones that are locked in.
Yeah, the ones who are locked in. Obviously, there's people that can still lock their way in. But let's see here.
While you do that, I love how this is sponsored. It's the NASCAR All Star race, sponsored by NASCAR's premier partners, Busch Beer, Coca-Cola, Geico, and Xfinity. Who's going to say all that?
Yeah, that's a mouthful. Okay, so here we go. Kyle Larson on the pole, like we said. Kyle Busch, so a pair of Kyles on the front row.
All right.
Christopher Bell is in third. Cole Custer, the guy who won last year at Kentucky, snuck up there and got one, is starting fourth. Austin Dillon, Chase Elliott, Joey Logano, William Byron, Brad Keselowski's ninth. Martin Truex Jr. rounds out the top 10 starters. How about this, though? Michael McDowell starting 11th. He's the Daytona 500 winner. He's in this thing. Yep. Kevin Harvick, Kurt Busch, Ryan Newman, like we said on this show, 20th appearance in this race. Alex Bowman, Denny Hamlin, and Ryan Blaney are the 17 who are locked in. Of course, we've got, like we said, the 3 advancers from the Open, right, and then the fan vote as well to make 21 starters for this race.
All right, well, you can check out all the coverage. It starts at 5 p.m. Eastern on FS1. The NASCAR Open will air at 6 p.m. Eastern, and the NASCAR All Star race begins at 8 p.m. Eastern on FS1.
My head hurts already.
Yeah, I mean, that's all we got. That's about the best we can give for this. If you wanted our expertise on NASCAR racing, this is not the weekend to be listening.
No, this isn't NASCAR racing. What this is, I don't know.
It's a circus.
This is a joke. Yeah, all right. It's a joke. It's a waste.
All right. If you're watching us on YouTube, thank you so very much. This is probably our longest segment ever, 16 minutes and counting.
Wow.
On youtube.com/thefinallap. So we appreciate if you've watched this far. Wow, you're hardcore, dude. Awesome.
And
thank
you hate this format as much as we do.
Right. But if you have watched this far, you might as well subscribe because, I mean, if you like us this much, just take it the next step and hit subscribe, and we'd appreciate it. Okay?
Yeah, ring that bell, man. Come on.
Yeah, mash that bell. All right. This is The Final Lap on YouTube, youtube.com/thefinallap, and TFLW will return after these messages.